Hi, I'm Jessica, and I wrote the Antidote Arsenal. I'd like to read it to you if that's okay. So let's get started. The Antidote Arsenal, brain power that packs a prevention punch for the Alpha Adolescent. That's you. The target point: to build up Alpha Adolescent protective factors against the risk of developing a substance use disorder later in life. But how? By growing the awareness that substances are environmental toxins and that self-love combined with authentic connection are the antidotes. Dear students of the Alpha generation, you are all equally valuable. You all have vast potential, and you are all worth protecting. Dear educators and parents of the Alpha generation, why substance use prevention in middle school, you ask? Adolescence is why. Early adolescence, the critical developmental period between childhood and the teenage years. Think about it. Kids are most at risk of experiencing the very first exposure to substance use during this time. Of course, we would all like to think our kids won't be the ones subjected to this kind of exposure, but that's not today's reality, I'm afraid. The likelihood of risk-taking behavior significantly increases at this age, and their skill sets need to match up to what they are up against. These adolescents are in need of resources and education around what to do when substance use enters their world. Protective factors. Of course, parents work on building the majority of this protection at home, as it should be, but there are additional ways to layer their protection. So let's layer up. All right, so we've got the straight up facts. Substances exist in today's world. The legal sale of them has been within your sight for as long as you can remember. They're essentially unavoidable no matter where you go. And since you already know they're there, let's talk about them. One thing I want you to know: substances are sneaky and they do have the potential to harm you. Protecting yourself against harm is essential. Knowledge is power, and power protects. So think about it. You're already used to protecting yourself. You look both ways before crossing the street so you don't get run over. You password your phone so your info is safe. You lock your doors so strangers don't enter your home. You already know you want to be safe. You already know what it means to be protected. And you're already doing it every day, and you have been for a long time. So let's get real. Like we already talked about, substances are legally available in the world that we live in. Legal substances that are available to adults are alcohol, cannabis, and nicotine. One thing to point out is that there are people who use these legal substances in such a way that causes almost no harm. This is true, and it needs to be said. An example of a substance that causes little harm would be a parent who has a beer or two after work or on the weekend. This is globally encouraged in media advertisements that you see, and it's also why you see alcohol so easily available to us within our community. The legal age to buy or drink alcohol is 21. This is the age when a person is considered ready to make that choice about having an alcoholic drink. This is because their brains are considered developed enough to make the decision in a mature way. Now, unfortunately, the whole truth is that there are many people who use these substances and they do cause a lot of harm. Harm to themselves as well as to the people around them. Sometimes these people will go on to develop a substance use disorder or an addiction to the substance. Another very unfortunate truth is it's hard to know who will develop a substance use disorder out of those who decide to try them. No one really knows if they will be the one to end up with the addiction in the end. All right, let's have a story time. Substance use disorder often sneaks its way into people's lives, just like the story of Hansel and Gretel. Two kids walking in the forest come upon a house made of candy. They can't believe their eyes. They want to taste the candy. It looks good. They enter the house and begin to taste it. It tastes good, and they want more of it. Lots more. They were so hungry, and they needed something to eat. For a moment, everything is perfectly sweet while they enjoy their candy, but not for long. Soon, after the sweet-tasting candy fills up their bellies, a witch appears. She was waiting for them. She knew they would like the taste of the candy. She was counting on it, and she lured them in on purpose. Once she had them right where she wanted them, she pushed them into the hot oven. The kids were stuck in the oven. The candy had fooled them because it was a trick all along. This is what substance use disorder can feel like. Some people will try to tell you that trying a substance is worth the risk. You'll have to decide for yourself using the knowledge that you have. Let's get into some more knowledge. What is a substance use disorder, or a SUD, S-U-D? A substance use disorder or addiction is when a vulnerable person likes the way a substance makes them feel so much that they want to use the substance all the time. They can't help it. They find themselves obsessing about it. They believe the substance improved their feelings of depression, anger, loneliness, anxiety, or pain, and they decide to go on and use the substance compulsively, attempting to recreate that feeling again and again. This is how substances work in the brain for some people. The substance targets areas to take advantage of, and it does its best to attach itself to the person using it. What happens is that person ends up in a trap. They will regret ever trying the substance to begin with, but they still won't be able to stop on their own. That is the dangerous power of substance use disorder. There can be a lot of pain and sadness created in their path as they live out their lives this way. It can take hold and keep the person in its grip for a long time before they are able to see all the ways their use has harmed their life. The hope is that they will eventually become willing to ask for and accept help. If they are willing to accept help, substance use disorder treatment can be effective if the person is able to put in the effort and do the hard work that it takes to recover from their addiction. There are many people who do recover from substance use disorders if they are able to use the tools given to them. The truth is, it's not easy to recover. Some really struggle to recover, and they just aren't able to stop using substances even when given help. This is the level of danger associated with taking a risk of trying a substance. They have a powerful effect on our brains and our bodies. Substances. Let's talk about what substances are out there in more detail so you really know what you're up against. Giving you the information you need to know in order to make informed decisions for yourself is crucial. So, legal substances. We have nicotine, which are cigarettes or vapes. This highly addictive substance can disrupt brain development, does damage to your lungs or airways, and puts strain on your heart. It can also lead to trying other more addictive substances that are even worse for you, because once you try one substance, the chance of you trying another one is even higher. Alcohol can be beer, wine, or liquor. It literally harms your whole body, but it mostly hurts your brain's ability to grow and function properly. It can make you fall down, do something you don't really want to do, or say something you don't really mean, which can hurt people you care about. Cannabis. It's the flower, where they have pens and they have edibles. It harms your lungs and airways when smoked, and it slows your brain function down. It hurts your memory, your ability to learn, your attention span, and your decision-making skills. It causes depression and anxiety in a lot of people too. It can even make you feel worried and scared that someone is after you. So then we have illegal substances. Narcotics, or taking any kind of prescription drug that are not prescribed to you, are illegal substances. They are sold on the street, not in the store. They are extremely dangerous and have a high potential to significantly harm or kill you. Some people think that they won't be the one who gets hurt, but it's like playing Russian roulette with a loaded gun. Remember, you only have one body and one mind to carry you throughout your path in life. Special warning sign here. Never ever take a pill of anything that someone else offers you. Even if they say it's a Tylenol for a headache, if you don't get it from a trusted adult or buy it yourself, then it's not worth the risk. One pill can kill you, and that is the truth. Okay, is my trait my fate? We're all different in our own ways, right? We look different, we act differently, but we are the same in some ways too. We all have brains in our heads and bodies that have the same basic internal systems that keep us alive. However, we all have ways of doing things and ways of looking at things in the way that our own specific brain tells us is the right way. Since we all have brain chemistry that is specific to our own bodies, we all have our own different reactions to the same things we ingest or form an opinion about. These are called our genetic traits, which are biological, or personality traits, which are psychological or environmental. Genetic traits are what we are born with, and they tell us about the way that our own brain operates chemically. Personality traits are about how we developed over time in the environment that we were raised in. One person might be born with a peanut allergy and can't eat peanuts, or someone could be born with asthma and need an inhaler. Those are genetic traits. Or one person might feel more connected to cats, while another person might really prefer dogs. Those are personality traits. With this in mind, there are actually genetic traits and personality traits that have been studied by scientists to assess a person's risk level of developing a substance use disorder. There is a genetic factor called heredity that shows if your parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, etc., have suffered with an addiction in their own lives, then your brain is very likely has the same addictive potential that they do or did. You would be more vulnerable to developing a substance use disorder in your own life due to this genetic factor. This means that if you try a substance, you have an increased chance of wanting more of it than another person might have. If you have an increased chance of wanting more of a substance you try, then you're dealing with a brain that is more likely to develop a craving that won't leave you alone even if you want it to. Trying a substance equals taking a big risk. It's not worth it. There's a personality factor that's at play as well regarding a person's risk level, and this is called their emotional regulation. Our brain's ability to sort out how we really feel inside and being able to effectively communicate those feelings is an ever-developing process. We all have a certain style of how we process emotions and communicate them. Some people are able to identify and regulate their emotions the way they truly intend, and that makes them come out easier. Some people struggle with keeping their emotional levels in check and need more help to learn how to regulate them so they're not overwhelming. This struggle makes communicating more difficult for them. The people who struggle emotionally are more likely to be tempted to try a substance in an attempt to fix themselves. They are vulnerable to developing a substance use disorder. Instead of reaching out for help from an adult who could assist them with improving their emotional regulation, they might mistakenly reach out for a substance. At first, it could trick them into believing they've solved their problem on their own. This is a lie. Over time, with consistent use, the substance will break down their body and it will no longer work in the way that they want it to, and they will still be left struggling emotionally. There is real help available to you if you struggle with regulating your emotions. Please reach out or be open if an adult reaches out to offer you help. Peer pressure is an additional environmental factor that can have the power to influence risk-taking behavior. When you're in a group of other kids who are saying things you know deep down are wrong, it can be hard to speak up. You might not have developed a way to use your authentic voice just yet. Peer pressure can be overwhelming for those who just want a chance to fit in, like in middle school. It may cause a person to make a choice they normally wouldn't have made on their own. It can lead them to trying something they don't really want to try, like a substance. Once they try it, they might find out that their body responds to the substance in a way that they can't control. They might continue to use the substance just to maintain friendships with kids who are using them. In doing this, they have put their own life at risk. They are vulnerable to developing a substance use disorder. There are skills you can learn to develop your interpersonal communication and resist peer pressure to protect yourself better. Okay, protective mode deployment plan. Now that we have all this info, what do we actually do with it in order to meet our prevention goals? It's time to enter into the skill building defensive zone. Buckle up, Buttercup. We have developing my identity, peer pressure defense, regulate those emotions, brain booster, nature's my hero. Okay. Who is the real me? Ask yourself, do you know who you want to be? Developing a feeling of authenticity in yourself is a way to feel confident about your place in the world. Some people struggle to be authentic and crave ways to show it more. Authentic means genuine, real, and true. What kind of authentic traits do you already have? You should list them out. Examples: honesty, integrity, accountability, non-judgmental, respectful, empathetic, reliable, sincere, kind, open-minded, understanding, patient. What kind of authentic traits do you want to develop as you grow? You should list them out. So these are your personal development goals. You can work on developing these qualities every day if you try. When you wake up in the morning, literally tell yourself you're going to try to prove that you have these qualities inside of you and watch them come out in your own interactions. If you mess up, apologize sincerely and try again. Sincerity is a beautiful, genuine quality that people can respect. Positive self-talk or affirmations is very helpful in this process. Look at your list of authentic qualities. Pick one and say, I am, and then say whatever quality it is you want to improve. Give it a try. It might be awkward at first, but just keep doing it. Personal growth is made possible in this way. You can look in the mirror and say them to yourself before you head to school each morning, or you can say them lying in bed to yourself as you go to sleep. These are a couple of suggestions, but you can do them anytime, really. If you keep it up, one day you'll know them to be true, even without having to say them out loud, because they will just be a part of who you are now. It's empowering to grow and see yourself reach your goals. This will improve your self-esteem. Speaking of self-esteem, what are some core beliefs you know about yourself? Examples of positive core beliefs: I am worthy, I am capable, I am safe, I am resilient, I am smart, I have potential, I am loved, I am trustworthy, I am a good friend, I care about others, I am grateful. Truly believe in these core thoughts about yourself, No one can take these from you. Sometimes we have negative core beliefs. Examples of negative core beliefs: I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I always mess things up. I am helpless. List out your core beliefs. Now, ask yourself if any negative core beliefs are really true. Do you have any evidence to back this up? If you don't, you might consider looking at it again to decide if it's really true or not. If you do have some evidence, remember that you have the power to change what you want to be true about yourself, and you have a way to do it. Say these positive affirmations and believe in them. They are a key to a new perspective for you. Now we need to look for our passions. What's a passion? It's something you are naturally drawn to that makes you happy. It can also be turned into a purpose. When we feel we have a purpose in life, we are much less likely to be tricked into turning to substance use. List your passions. Examples: nature, animals, art, learning, sports, music, helping someone, being a leader, reading, writing, cooking, telling jokes, dancing, and swimming. Friendships. There are friendships that make you feel good and friendships that make you feel bad. Who wants to feel bad? No one. That's who. Let's chat about what friendships can look like. A healthy friendship is when you feel your boundaries are respected, you feel the person can be trusted, and when you can have open communication without feeling judged. When you have respect for different opinions that come up, value each other's individuality, and are able to give encouragement to each other. When you have the ability to forgive a mistake and move on from minor conflicts. No one's perfect and people make mistakes. A healthy friendship is not always easy breezy, but if people are trying to improve and are willing to work on themselves, then that's a friend worth having. Another key part of building a healthy friendship involves active listening. This means that you give your friend your full attention when they are trying to talk to you. Your interactions with friends should leave you feeling more connected, which feels good inside. Reflecting is when you fully hear what they are trying to say, and you respond to it by giving them feedback that shows you understood them. You can rephrase what they said. So what you're saying is to make sure you got it right. This lets them know you care about what they are trying to say and want to engage. It's a way to make the most out of any friendship, which means it feels good to be in it, not bad. Knowing all of this is important so you can develop friendships that keep out unhealthy behaviors, like taking risks with substance use. What does an unhealthy friendship look like? When the person is emotionally draining, manipulative, or even has repeatedly harmful things to say about you or others without being sorry. When the person displays constant jealousy or puts pressure on you to engage in risky behaviors. These are all red flags. The person needs to know these kinds of behaviors are not acceptable to you and will not be tolerated. Codependency is a version of an unhealthy relationship. What does codependency look like? It's an intense and unhealthy reliance on each other where one friend's needs consistently take priority over the others. This kind of friendship can lead to one person doing things that the other person does, even if they're harmful. Codependent friendships often lack clear boundaries, with one friend constantly seeking the other's approval and validation. If you're unsure if your friendship is healthy or unhealthy, it might be helpful to make a list of pros and cons about the friendship. When you write the list, be sure to be honest about how it makes you feel inside. When you know what a healthy friendship looks like, it's easier to spot an unhealthy one when it's happening. Healthy friendships don't involve substance use. Boundaries are good. Boundaries are personal limits that lay out what you will and won't accept in your friendships and your life. It's asking for respect from others, and we all deserve respect. By setting boundaries within your friendships about everyday things that come up, it will help you get comfortable setting a boundary if someone ever tries to offer you a substance. It's important to figure out what your boundaries look like within your friendships so they stay healthy and make you feel good, not bad. Think of a boundary like a protective bubble that keeps you cozy and warm. Examples of boundaries: respecting your privacy. I'm not comfortable with you gossiping about my personal life. Respecting personal space. Can you please not stand so close to my bubble? Respecting personal items. Can you please ask before borrowing my things? Respecting time availability. I need some time to recharge after school, so I won't be on my phone tonight. Remember, it's okay to say if someone crosses a line. That crossed a line, please stop. Remember, it's okay to say that something makes you uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable when you talk about people behind their back. Remember, it's okay to say no. It's a full sentence. Hey, do you want to smoke a cig? No. Remember, it's okay to walk away. I'm done with this convo. Bye. Setting a boundary is not rude. It's a natural part of growing up. Be firm, yet gentle, and they'll get the hint. It shows you have expectations of your friends and that you won't let them walk all over you. No one wants to be taken advantage of. Consistent reminders when someone is continuing to cross a line might be necessary, so don't be afraid to keep speaking up for yourself if need be. This is all part of growing up. This leads to developing the ability to be assertive. Assertiveness is a skill that can be learned and used when appropriate. It's a way of communicating simple or even difficult emotions with the intention of either setting a limit or ensuring your voice is heard, not in an aggressive or mean way, and not in a passive or shy way, but in a calm and direct way. When you want to tell someone how you feel in an assertive way, you're telling them that you have made up your mind and need no further input. It's protecting your own right to how you feel and what you think, which is entirely valid. Assertively communicating simple emotions might be easy for some. Are you mad at me? I'm a little upset you said you didn't like my shirt, but I'll get over it. Assertively communicating difficult emotions might be a little harder. Are you going to tell me what happened at lunch yesterday? I'm confused and hurt. I feel betrayed about you telling people my parents are getting a divorce when I asked you not to tell them. When you practice at it, it gets easier to be honest about your feelings, so the person knows that what they did affected you negatively instead of holding it all in. This way, if substance use comes up, you can find the words to tell them what you think or how you feel assertively, so they don't try to change your mind. Another way to build assertiveness is by practicing eye contact when you talk. This is helpful in active listening as well. When you want to show you are fully engaged with the conversation, you can help deliver your message clearly by looking them in the eyes as you speak. This can build awareness in the conversation, whether you want to show interest in a healthy convo or you want to show disinterest in an unhealthy convo. Please remember, seeking help from a trusted adult when you have tried your best but still need assistance is always okay and encouraged. Impulse control panel. As humans, we believe what our thoughts tell us, and then we usually act on however that thought has made us feel. The thing is, our thoughts are not always true. This is an important point. This is important to point out. Being aware that sometimes thoughts can pop up that are untrue is essential for you to understand. Some thoughts that come up will be a hot button for us or will trigger an emotional reaction that's overwhelming. Everyone has a trigger that's unique to them and their life experiences, so it's normal to experience them. Sometimes we might even lash out aggressively if we were very triggered. Aggressive behavior is something that we can't tolerate because it puts others or the person themselves in danger. And we have to learn ways to stop aggressive behavior. It's very important for our development. When we're triggered, if we don't slow down and take a minute to really think things through, then we might act in a way that we later regret. If you get triggered easily, that puts you at risk for substance use, and we want to prevent that from happening. Have you ever felt regret for something you did or said that was not really what you wanted to say or do? It's not a good feeling to have. So what are my triggers? List them out. Examples: rejection, family struggles, conformity, misunderstandings, mean jokes, insecurity, betrayal, academic pressure. We really want to try to avoid having to feel regret in our lives as much as we can, which means being more intentional. And to be intentional means being mindful. What's being mindful? Being mindful means staying aware of and being with the present moment you are in as you are in it, instead of tuning out and letting your random thoughts create behavior choices that are automatic. Often we just react to things as they are happening without really thinking about it. This is called instinctive or impulsive behavior. We want to develop more intentional behavior as we grow. What's being intentional? Stop and think before you speak. Sometimes people call this process playing the tape through, which means they think deeper about what might happen if they do act out on their first thought and what might happen after that, and then how that would make them feel. Sometimes that can help with making choices more aligned with our truth and avoid feeling regret. Taking the time to stop and feel the connection that your thoughts, emotions, and body have when they all work together at the same time is powerful. It will give you an increased sense of being in control of your behavior choices. So what are my intentions? List them out. Examples: I will pay attention in class. I will support my friends. I will respect my parents. I will stay away from danger. I will do my best. I will be a leader. I will communicate my needs. I will be kind. I will work on my anger. I will show compassion. To help get yourself more familiar with how to make your intentions come true using mindfulness, you can start by closing your eyes and being still for 30 seconds. Relax your muscles, especially in your stomach. You can put your hand on your chest and feel your breath rise and fall in your lungs. Feel your heartbeat. Think about your breath, your actual breathing. Appreciate that this happens all on its own within your body. Notice that it's your breath that keeps your whole body alive as it moves your chest up and down, up and down. Let your mind settle down and get quiet as you feel your breath. When you feel a sense of calm, this is when you know you have become mindful. Our mind is more than our thoughts. Our thoughts come and go all day, but our clear mind is when we incorporate our thinking along with our breath awareness. Once you're able to find that peaceful place within yourself, you can practice using it to make more intentional choices that come from a place of deeper understanding instead of just reacting to things. Intention is better than reaction. It comes from the real you inside. We need to remember to be patient with ourselves and others while we are learning how to incorporate this sense of awareness into our life. Developing a stronger mind-body connection takes time, and it's a skill that needs to be practiced daily, little by little. I promise you that over time, The benefit is so worth it when it comes to protecting yourself. Feelings are hard. When dealing with our emotions, it's good to be able to name them when they arise. They can be, and often are, complex. Building your emotional vocabulary so that you can articulate what you're experiencing takes power out of them if they overwhelm you, confuse you, or tend to make you uncomfortable. Naming the positive emotions as they arise can be affirming that you are worthy of having good things happen to you. It's always good to feel that reminder. Examples of complex positive emotions: contentment, hope, compassion, pride, gratitude, awe, inspiration, amusement, serenity, curiosity, delight, astonishment. List some complex positive emotions from the list that you experience. We also experience negative emotions, so it's good to name those as well. Examples of complex negative emotions: shame, guilt, desperation, anxiety, jealousy, apathy, resentment, melancholy, frustration, inadequacy, failure. List some complex negative emotions from the list that you experience. Remember that it's normal to experience these feelings. Others around you are experiencing them too. You're all connected in this way. Rather than seeing your emotions as too difficult to handle, you should know that they are always temporary and will pass in time. This is true for both positive and negative emotions. How you deal with them in the moment while you're experiencing them is the most important part. When you have happy feelings, let them fill you up and enjoy them while they last. When they're gone, remember them with a smile. Know they will always come again and look forward to that, but don't cling to it. Clinging creates a feeling of longing, where you think you can only feel at peace inside when you are experiencing happy emotions. Feeling at peace inside is different than experiencing happy emotions. We always have the ability to feel at peace inside, regardless whether something is making us have a happy emotion. You find that sense of peace when you create mindfulness within yourself. When you connect your body and mind with intention, you will find peace already exists inside of you. When you have negative feelings, let them pass through your awareness like clouds in the sky. You are the sky, and the clouds, they come and go. This will always be true. Remember your mindfulness practice and go back to your inner peaceful place. This is always available to you regardless of what emotions are happening. You always have the ability to stop and think before you speak, to take your time to come up with the right words that align with your true intention. You are resilient and you can get through anything. It doesn't hurt to go and splash your face with cold water if you really need to either. Don't judge yourself for experiencing these emotions. You're a human, and we all go through these things sometimes. We all do. Keep remembering your breathing. Keep your belly soft. Tell yourself what you know to be true, which is that you're going to get through this. A bad feeling is only temporary. If there's a favorite place or person of yours that always makes you feel safe, think of that place or person and see if that helps. Do any of these things that work for you, and they're all healthy ways to deal with negative feelings. You don't have to lash out and say or do something you'll regret. You got this. Extra stuff you need to know. What Google has to say about your brain. The brain is responsible for a vast array of functions, from automatic processes like breathing and heartbeat to complex tasks like cognition, learning, and emotional regulation. Keeping it strong is crucial for overall well-being and healthy aging, as it can impact thinking abilities and memory. The brain is also highly malleable, particularly during childhood and adolescence, with the period of 11 to 12 years being a time of significant development and change in brain structure and function. And substance use during the 11 to 12 year range can have detrimental effects on brain development, leading to structural and functional changes that can result in cognitive deficits, increased risk of addiction, and mental health issues, and various behavioral and emotional problems. I want you to think about this information for a minute. Do you really want to take the risk of impacting your brain's growth and development in order to see how a substance affects it? You only get one brain. Keeping it as healthy as possible is the only good choice. You need that thing for everything. In case you ever forget, newsflash, your body has built-in feel-good buttons already. Stuff that already exists and is available to you that can make you feel good naturally are exercise, can be sports, walking, riding your bike, skateboarding, yoga, dancing, photography, gardening, reading, acting, baking, art, fishing, knitting or crocheting, drawing or coloring, having a picnic, kayaking, writing or journaling, board games, puzzles, talking to your support people, sharing openly with a trusted person who makes you feel seen and heard can increase your feelings of connectedness, which is a natural golden feeling. Listening to music, playing with animals, being anywhere in nature, a river, a lake, a waterfall, camping, hiking, laying in a field, laying under a tree, eating or making food, celebrating holidays, picking out your outfit for the day, practice goal setting, overcoming obstacles, helping others, volunteering your time and energy just because it feels good, hanging out with friends, skincare, taking a shower, the list goes on. Nature is our sibling. Here's some amazing truth for you to ponder about our incredibly strong and adaptable family member, nature. Despite the presence of toxins in the environment, nature exhibits remarkable resilience and the ability to adapt and even thrive. Examples: Atlantic killifish. These fish, residing in polluted East Coast estuaries, have evolved to withstand industrial pollutant levels that would be lethal to other species. Egyptian mongoose and meerkat, honey badgers, hedgehogs, and wild boars have evolved resistance to X neurotoxins found in snake venoms. Poison dart frogs, like the golden poison dart frog, are able to sequester toxins like batrachotoxin from their diet and utilize them for defense. Tardigrades, water bears, can survive in extreme environments, including exposure to high levels of radiation, by entering a dormant state called tun, during which their metabolism slows drastically. Some native animals may alter their foraging patterns, nesting sites, or daily routines to avoid invasive predators or competitors. Native species might shift their diet to utilize resources not exploited by invasive species, or to consume the invasive species themselves if they're edible and safe. Nature gets it. Okay, I'll leave you with this. It's a poem I wrote about Mother Nature when I was going through a hard time in life. Writing is one of my passions, and I have a goal to make it part of my purpose. Enjoy. Mother Nature gave to me. I shut my eyes so I can see the light inside my mother gave to me. She gave me roots and gave me wings. A strong stem she also gifted me. Burst and fall, let my petals. Mother also gave me metal, not to harm, but to protect myself from fickle weather's empty threat. She made me smart, she made me kind, she made me by intelligent design. I can survive in any weather. This is my mother's rule of nature. So if you see me looking wilted, just give me time to close my eyes. Just give me time to look inside. Just give me time to draw my breath. Just give me time and I'll find my essence. I am a flower, don't you see? Just what my mother created me to be. All right. I hope you learned something.